This is Film Trigger. Stevie Cade.
I don't need breast implants. I lost 90 pounds. I have my own tits.
Seth Draven.
So by that logic, George Clooney is the best live-action Batman we have ever gotten.
Ramon from Hit or Miss TV.
If Justice League 2 isn't announced in 2022, I will shave my head bald live on air.
Streaming from Studio 47. Film Trigger's Drive-By News begins now.
Wop, 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 wop. What up?
Oh.
What's going on, everybody?
Oh.
Welcome to the grunt edition of Drive-By News, where we just communicate in grunts.
Oh. Oh.
All right. So today looks a little different because today, to my digital left, we have Monte. Hello, Monte. How are you?
Oh, good. Slowly descending into a circle of madness.
Oh, awesome. Good. Well, I'm glad to see mental health is strong with this one. Seth Draven and Ramon from Hit or Miss TV are not with us today. Ramon might show up. I don't know. Maybe he's sleeping. I don't know what's going on with him. But Seth is, who knows? They don't like to talk to me, Monty. He's
in the upside down.
Right. Yeah. They don't communicate with me unless they need something from me. So, all right. So we got
teenagers.
plenty of news and stuff to talk about today. A lot of stuff to talk about today, actually. So we'll just kind of dive right into it. Now, I do have a new setup because usually what I normally will do is link to an online page of the source of the whatever I'm talking about and kind of scroll through the thing. But like I've been having a lot of trouble like finding like the quote that I want from it, and like I'll read it before, but then when I go live, I'm like, oh, where is it? And I can't find it.
I can't find it.
Yeah, and I'm struggling. So I've decided to more customize the page and put out make my own little images for this. So you'll see there's a difference here. But Barry Keogan, you know who Barry Keogan is?
Yes.
Okay. And I think that's how you say his name. It's Keogan. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will try to correct. Actually.
It's actually Keogan. Yeah. Well, he has been arrested.
Oh, shit. What did he do?
Well, okay, so it's not as bad as it sounds. You hear
That's already a bad sign.
No, it's not as bad as it is. Like you hear Barry Keogan's been arrested, people are like, "Oh God, what happened?" No, not the new Joker. Fucking Warner Brothers, stop hiring outlaws. So it's actually kind of funny. Something I think we all can respect a little bit here. The Eternals and the Batman star Barry Keogan was arrested in Dublin, Ireland, that is. Metro reports that the actor was picked up for public intoxication.
Oh, come on.
Well, hold on, hear it out. Sources say that authorities responded to a noise complaint from a man who heard ruckus outside of his window. Allegedly, Keogan wasn't threatening, but merely having a little bit too much fun outside. Witnesses corroborated this story. Luckily for all parties involved, the incident has come to a close and been resolved. A fixed charge notice, which means the person in custody was released without any legal proceedings. AKA, dude got drunk, it was a little too loud, got arrested, and then like him being arrested just became like a key. Like, oh, he got arrested! Holy hell!
Oh shit! He's arrested for war crimes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, with all this stuff going on with Ezra Miller, you know, all that going on, you're like, you hear that, and you're like, oh no, what's going on?
He wasn't fast enough.
Or Ezra Miller was a little too quick to jump on stage and smack the microphone out of that lady's hand singing a karaoke song. Well, I mean, it's just, listen, there's nothing to see here in a sense, but I just wanted to put it out there for anybody who read the article or read the title, you know, Barry Keogan's been arrested. Just wanted to clear that up. Dude was just having too much fun. Plus, like, is that even against the law in Dublin, Ireland to be to be that
I, don't know,
drunk.
I
I mean,
almost feel, I mean, not to be stereotypical, but I feel like, I don't know, that should just be normal.
right? Like,
You're having too much fun.
well, I mean, how drunk do you have to be arrested for public intoxication?
That's
in
a
Dublin?
good question.
Oh man,
That is a question for Seth and his infinite knowledge.
yes, one is neither drunk or sober. We're all just fixed assets in the world or universe.
It's an ambiguous, beautiful answer. It's like, all right, man.
All right, cool. Well, anyway, next article. No, if for what you guys don't know what we're talking about, we have this this running joke that Monte and I kind of came up with backstage, and Seth never really gives you a solid answer on things. Yeah, he's, as Monte says, very ambiguous. He just kind of maybe we'll see. So like
I see
now
all
Monte,
that is future and past, but
Right.
cannot see the present.
So Monte has created this character of Seth, and I really enjoy it. So.
Very meta that he is an elder god. Still getting used to his powers, but very, very used to them at the same time.
So Barry Keogan was arrested. No big deal. Nothing to see here. But with that said, now here's something we kind of touched base on this when we did our live stream. I think it was Thursday, but I kind of wanted to dive deeper into it and maybe just unpack it a little bit more than we did. And that is the fate of DC Entertainment. So
Yeah.
for people who don't know, because you live under a rock, Discovery has absorbed Warner Brothers Entertainment and has created the subsidiary Warner Brothers Discovery. Now they are one entity, and with that, now the main dude, what's his name, Zaslav. I can't remember. I can't figure out how to say his name exactly, but he's like the head dude. He's the head honcho. He's the Bob Iger of Warner Brothers now. Bob Iger, of course, being like one of the most beloved people who ran Disney for a very long time.
Wow.
So he has come out and made a statement that I think we as Warner Brother fans, more specifically DC fans, have been wanting to hear. And we've gotten this before. We've heard like when Warner Brothers and AT&T merged, we had faith and hope then. And nothing really happened. We never really saw anything change. People just had different responsibilities. We never knew who was leader. Walter Hamada came in and kind of did some things, and then Ann Sarnoff was there, and then she kind of did some things, but like we never knew anybody to be in charge. Now, again, we talked about this Thursday, but I want to unpack it a little bit more. It says fate of DC Entertainment. Insider says that Zaslav believes that the success of the merger, one that has left the company highly leveraged, will rest in no small part on unlocking the full potential of the DC Comics universe of characters. Discovery insiders believe that although DC has achieved cinematic success with recent films such as Aquaman and The Batman, it lacks coherent creative and brand strategy. I agree with that 100%. Discovery believes that several top shelf characters such as Superman have been left to languish and need to be revitalized. They also believe that projects like Todd Phillips' Joker are a shining example of how second build characters from the DC library can and should be exploited. I think that's beautiful. Ramon always makes a joke that I always say something about, somebody with the golden pen, with the golden ink scribes out, the future of whatever. This is the golden ink right here. This is what that is. I mean, this right here is beautiful, and it gives me faith, and which sucks.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword because I've had faith in Warner Brothers for a long time, and none of that faith has ever paid off. None of that investment has paid off. And here we are years later, and we still have no idea what the hell is happening over there. We have no idea what property belongs to what universe. We feel like maybe they're going to use the Flash movie as a Band-Aid to fix things, and I'm not sure if I'm happy with that. We need clear direction.
It may, I don't know, it may come across as, hopefully, if they do it right and if they have good writing, you could really fix any issue.
Well, yeah, of course. But I think on top of that is good writing as well as a common focus. You know, letting creators be creative and do their own thing is very important, but also having a goal for them to hone in on. You know, like, hey, listen, you can do what you want with this, but like this is where we're headed, and we need you to head there with us.
Yeah, okay. That's a great fucking point, because the last time they tried to do that was the Star Wars sequel, the sequel trilogy, right?
Oh, you're talking about Disney, yeah.
Yeah. Now we see what happens whenever you give directors, you know, the creative, you know, basically freedom, but also don't keep them in check with like, hey, this is where we're going with the story.
Yeah.
Please don't diverge too much from that. And then, you know, we get fucking The Last Jedi and then Rise of Skywalker, where it's like, shit, we got to fix all the fuck ups that the last movie made.
Well, and they're fuck ups according to the creative doing it. You know, Ryan Johnson's Star Wars movie wasn't a bad movie standalone, but it didn't fit as part of that trilogy. And that was where Disney learned that mistake, you know, but I'm glad to see, and they've rectified situations like that since, but like, I'm glad to see
the same thing could happen with DC. There's always that possibility, but I think with somebody like Zaslav in charge, who actually understands, you know, products and also just kind of media management in general.
Yeah.
That's important, because if you have all these different fucking properties all over the place, it's going to feel like how it feels now, where we don't know which fucking ones are connected or not, or if they're all just standalone movies, which is fine, but it's almost similar to like the early 2000s, you know, when like they were coming out with, you know, these different properties that are in the same universe, but they don't know each other. You know, that you have a Blade, Daredevil, Elektra, all those really shitty early 2000s. Not Blade, of course, but
were they in the same universe?
Well, they were supposed to. Blade and Elektra were, or not Blade. Sorry, Daredevil and Elektra were.
Oh well, yeah, those two, Daredevil, yeah.
Obviously, we saw where that went.
Yeah, that's more of a stylistic choice, you know, how that fell apart. But yeah, it was it was not connected. And now that we live in this world, they want to connect it. They want to put it together. And Zaslav is actually he's actually looking for the Kevin Feige of the DC property. Kevin Feige, if you don't know, is the one who pretty much ran the entire MCU. He's the one that organized it. He's the one that planned everything out and put it together. And he was successful because not only was he a nerd, a geek, you know, somebody who enjoyed comic books, has worked with many, if not most, Marvel properties even before the MCU. And we're talking like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. We're talking about Blade. You know, we're talking about just older properties. But he also knew how to make movies. He had knowledge of both sides of that. DC tried to do that. They brought in Jeff Johns, who is a comic book guy. That's what he does. He just writes comic books. And they said, oh, well, Jeff Johns is going to come in and he's going to be the person that we want to control our DC properties. But you know what Jeff Johns doesn't know how to do?
Make movies.
He doesn't know how to make movies.
Oh.
Right. And so, you know, he was a part of that whole thing with the Zack Snyder, you know, the Justice League that came out. He's the one that kind of shook that up and said, we need to take this in a different direction, you know, since, you know, Zack Snyder's daughter committed suicide and we can go behind his back and change everything now, you know, let's do it, you know, and that's what happened. So Zaslav has come in and basically just put down the hammer and said, we need to find this person who can do this. Maybe not in the same way. There's going to be, you know, Warner Brothers DC's own version of doing this compared to Disney. But at least somebody has come in and recognized that all these second build characters like Joker, you know, Harley Quinn, like that should be exploited, as well as recognizing that key characters like Superman, Batman have completely been left to languish. Like he said, they just been put to the side for no other reason than what I would guess would be because they're trying to like not give too much attention to what happened with the Zack Snyder debacle, you know, with that whole thing. Like it seems like a lot. It seems like a lot of their decision making was just trying to hide, you know, what they did, and not
instead of addressing, you know, addressing issues that happen, they just try to ignore them instead, or cover them up completely. And I mean, you know, CGI face Henry Cavill is a perfect example.
Or make Shazam and cut Superman's head off. They just had a Superman cameo, which they used Henry Cavill's body double, but they cut his head off. Like,
yeah, that was hilarious.
It was disappointing is what it was. Like that right there was when I realized that Warner Brothers does not, they're just, that was their middle finger to all the fans right there.
Yeah.
But for the first time, for the first time in a long time, I have true faith that DC will be something we're proud of. And I'm not sure if that's going to involve a reboot or a remanaging of what we already have. I'm hoping it's a remanaging that they can fix what we have, because
same here.
There are great things there. We have great properties already. And as much as I don't want to invest in a whole new reboot, I'm kind of emotionally exhausted to the fact that I might just wave the white flag and be okay with that too.
Yeah. The problem if they do a reboot is there has to be enough time that passes before they can do it again. Because, if they try to do it again, there was already a lot of people who were hesitant with the Batman because they're like,
yeah,
well, like you said, I've already seen, brooding, gritty Batman.
Yeah.
It's still so fresh in all of our memories that it's hard to just come in and replace that again. And
yeah, I want the alien fighting Batman. I want that Batman. We haven't seen that Batman except for BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League. And
speaking of that, I think there was a couple issues too that they had. There's parts where they'll show, for instance, like Batman using guns and like, kind of being a little indifferent towards his whole killing rule and everything. Like, I could seriously injure the motherfucker and put him in the hospital.
Right.
And for fans of the comics, we understand that version of Batman. Like there is a version of Batman that is just kind of lost his goodwill almost.
Well, that's humanity. I mean,
that just kind of happens.
That's the most human thing that Batman could do. Is fall against his own principles. That's a human aspect. And what is Bruce Wayne's superpower besides being rich? He is human. He has that humanity. That's something that nobody else in the Justice League has. He's human. He doesn't have any sort of meta capabilities. And when you bring that human side to the forefront, I think that's important. And the Batman, the Matt Reeves, The Batman, which releases on streaming tomorrow, by the way.
Yes, it does.
It also plays into that human side of him, which is cool. But like, I've already seen it, so that's a different rabbit hole. We'll go down. We'll talk about that maybe later this week since the Batman's coming out and streaming.
I have good hopes for DC Entertainment. I do think there's still time.
I think this Discovery merger is a very important and majorly needed shakeup over at Warner Brothers. He's let go a few of the bad apples. Some of the bad apples still exist. Looking at you, Toby Emmerich, but Zaslav is obviously there with a clear vision, clear goal, and I hope he finds his right person to move forward. So, if you're watching, please let us know in the comments below your thoughts about the merger of Discovery and Warner Brothers, and are you excited to see where they are going to head with this? If you are listening to us and you can't type right now, but you want to give us a call, you can give us a call live on air. 740-527-3447. Phone lines are open as well. So, all right, moving forward here. All right, so Batgirl. Do you know about the Batgirl show, Monty?
Yeah, I've heard several amazing things about it.
Are you being sarcastic?
I am. I'm sorry. I know the Batgirl show. I know the original actress, Ruby Rose, right? The original actress, didn't do too well. The show wasn't being getting a lot of praise.
Are you talking about?
No. Is that Batwoman? That's Batwoman.
You talking about CW?
Yeah, the CW one. Nope,
forget CW. Forget CW. See, everything at CW is pretty much trash to me. And I'm sure somebody, like one of our keyboard.
Oh, Green Arrow's really good. It's like, yeah, man,
have you seen Green Arrow? Really, oh my god, he's perfect. Sorry, it's true.
True.
But Batgirl on set. Batgirl's Leslie Grace talks Michael Keaton as Batman. She came out with a statement saying what it was like to work with Michael Keaton as Batman. And I thought it was a really, really nice thing she said. She goes, "It was wild for everyone. Our directors were like two little kids. They're legit Batman nerds openly. He is Batman. I couldn't even believe that I was sharing space with Batman. I want to say more, but I can't. It was insane, surreal, incredible. It's the stuff of dreams, really."
Aw.
I could understand that. Like, if you're standing next to Michael Keaton, not only just Michael Keaton, but like Michael Keaton dressed as Batman, that's a childhood dream. Like, this would be me. I wouldn't be able to say anything. Like, it's
yeah.
I'd
want
awesome.
him to stab me with a battery, and I wouldn't take it out. I'd just be like, "Thank you."
As you die away, I regret nothing.
I regret nothing.
But yeah, how do you feel about this Batgirl movie? Especially how confusing it is, because right now it's set to show up on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, please somebody correct me in the comments and let me know. But I haven't seen a date change on Batgirl yet, which causes a problem, because Michael Keaton is in Batgirl, but so is J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon. J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon is part of the Snyder movies.
Huh.
So obviously there's something in the Flash movie that happens to make this possible. But the Flash movie has been pushed back until next year, meaning right now it doesn't come out until after Batgirl. So like there's some continuity issue here, and they'll probably push Batgirl. And if I were to predict what is going to happen here, it would be that Batgirl is not only going to get pushed back until after the Flash movie comes out, but I think it will be pushed back and given a theatrical release.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. I think I know what they want to do with the Flash. They want to do the whole Flashpoint paradox thing.
Yeah.
And or at least base it off of it. That's kind of what Batman v Superman was. There was a lot of hints and callbacks to other Batman comics.
Well, I mean, that's always been the Flash movie idea. It's like ever since the Flash movie was announced 9 fucking years ago.
Yeah, holy shit.
It's always been rumored that the Flashpoint paradox was going to be the storyline. And now it's coming to fruition. It's going to obviously take liberties and be its own thing, and not necessarily a copy and paste of the comic books, which is fine for me because I don't read the comic books. I'm not a comic book nerd. That's what Seth is for. But now that it's coming to fruition, it's been pushed back again, delayed until 2023. I just hope they don't use the Flashpoint Flash movie as a reason to fix Warner Brothers mistakes. I hope it's story driven and not mistake covering up driven. Does that make sense?
I do kind of feel that too. And I hope they're able to get a couple things. There's been a lot of really cool theories. So the Batman v Superman, the opening credits, right? They show Batman's parents getting killed, right? Yeah. Now the two actors that play Batman's parents, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, right, and I forgot her name, but the actress who plays Maggie on The Walking Dead, they are supposed to be Batman and Joker. That is the version of them in that in the
Flashpoint story,
yeah, and where the mother becomes the Joker and the father becomes a very cynical version of Batman. That is the version of Batman that uses guns and doesn't give a fuck about killing.
Oh, and dude, how great would it be to get a Jeffrey D. Morgan Batman? Like, oh my god,
I think he'd be great as an older Batman. Oh fuck yeah,
especially playing that version of him. That's Thomas Wayne. Yeah, and Zack Snyder set that up. Now we're going down a rabbit hole here, but the point is like movies like Batman v Superman, movies like Zack Snyder's Justice League, even though they were controversial in their own right, but they stuck with you. Here we are still talking about these movies. It's what year did Batman v Superman come out? 2015.
Yeah,
and it's 7 years later, and we're still talking about this movie. It's literally the most pivotal part of the DCEU that I remember. When I think about it, I feel like that's the staple of where everything for the DCEU. That's where it actually began. Well, more so with Man of Steel, but that's where it really felt cinematic. The universe really expanded beyond Superman.
Yeah, there was a lot of world building in there.
Right. And just like Zaslav or whatever the new dude over Warner Brothers Discovery said, those characters have been put on the back burner, and that needs to be rectified. They need to be put to the forefront. And I hope Flash's movie does that in the right way and doesn't try to like sweep them even more under the rug. That's a lot. There's a theory out there that that Supergirl that is in the Flash movie is kind of only there just to be our new Superman. She's going to replace, the Superman character.
I hope they don't do that.
No, I hope they bring her in. I want to see
her.
Yeah,
I want to see her, but I don't want to see her replace another beloved character.
Right. Especially Henry Cavill. I mean, dude, that guy is amazing as Superman.
And he loves being Superman. Like,
yes.
He is the driving point behind The Witcher being made.
Right.
Because of how much of a fucking nerd he is.
Right. And that's amazing. Like, we need actors that get that involved with their role are just they need to be cherished. They need to be nurtured. They hold on to them, and hopefully, we're going back to the fate of DC Entertainment again, but like hopefully they rectify this. Now, moving on with the Batgirl, obviously Leslie Grace, she talked about how it was seeing Michael Keaton on set, and I predict that maybe that this is going to be pushed out into a theatrical release after the Flash comes out, because it really wouldn't make sense for it to be before. And when you have Michael Keaton, do you really want to stream Michael Keaton? Just saying. But also, Leslie Grace came out and made a comment that I found a little intriguing, and that is she's hints at a possible Batgirl too. Now, of course, this is classic, star of movie, says my movie's great and we'll get a sequel sort of thing. But it's okay. We're allowed to indulge in this a little bit. She says we got to see the first. Excuse me. We got to see the first one first, but there's definitely some talks about what it could be. I've seen some of what we've shot, obviously, in the playback and stuff like that, and it's insane. I've already been talking about where do we take this from here, because there's so much that happens in this film. There are a lot of different themes in the plot that we could touch on. It's not just the action. There's a love story. There's this father-daughter relationship. There's looking at the world through the lens that isn't just black and white and seeing the color and the spectrum between things. Number one, what she's saying here actually makes me really excited. I haven't really been that excited for Batgirl.
I mean, she is a very good character in the comics. Like she's worth a lot more than just being a pretty girl who's in Batman attire. Like,
right.
There's a lot more there. If this is, Barbara Gordon, who it's supposed to be, there's a lot of shit going on there. Like, obviously she's dealing with her father, the commissioner, and him not knowing who she is.
Yeah, and they could change that. I mean, anything could be changed. He might know who she is. We don't know.
Yeah.
Now, I've been put off a little bit by some of the set photos. Like her costume is not... I haven't seen it cinematically, so I shouldn't judge it yet. But her costume, just from the behind-the-scenes stuff, looks a little CW-ish. But one thing I did notice, and I don't have a photo to actually bring it up right now to give you an example, but they released that Michael Keaton full bat suit image this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they released that, I took note. I was like, oh, you might remember this, Monte. I was like, hey, his belt isn't gold; it's black, right? And I took an inventory of exactly what that belt looked like. And when I was looking at the image of Batgirl again, she's wearing that same exact bat belt, same exact one. The same one that Michael Keaton's new bat suit is wearing. I think there's going to be some connection there for sure. Now, how Michael Keaton's Batman is going to be involved with this, we have to see the Flash movie to understand that. Which is why I'm pretty certain they're definitely going to push this movie back. But hopefully, it gets a theatrical release. Are you excited for Batgirl at all? Like, do you have any sort of like yay about it, or are you just kind of
I have hopes for it. I think when the actors are passionate enough about it and they're putting in the work, and it's going to be worth this. It's going to be worth seeing.
Yeah.
That being said, you can always tell when there's a movie that is just kind of, you know, you can just tell there's not really any heart into it, and then you'll end up with shit like Morbius. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, the way her quote here, you know, it kind of sounds like, and again, you know, actor supports movie. It's not anything new. But just the way she says it, there's a love story. There's a father-daughter relationship. It's more than just the action. The movie's not as black and white as well. Morbius is a very black and white movie. And so the way she's promoting it, the way she seems to be genuinely excited about it, really excites me for the film. And I haven't been excited about it until I read these things. It's just been kind of like, whatever. But this, on top of the merger with Discovery, I have a revitalized hope for the future of Warner Bros.
Yeah,
I really
same
do.
here. It's nice.
All right. Moving on a little bit here. Now this isn't really news, but I saw it and I couldn't help but like bring it up. I just fan watched No Way Home almost 300 times, 292 times, I believe.
Holy shit!
Could you? Okay, well, before we dive into a discussion here, I'm going to bring up. Let's see here. Let me close this. I'm going to bring up the actual Twitter thing of him doing this.
Dear God!
Oh no, where'd it go? I lost it.
I actually got to watch No Way Home Friday night.
Oh, there it is. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Have you never seen it before?
I had not gotten to see it yet. I've been basically unable to see it until then, and I forced Megan to sit down and watch it with me.
What did you guys think?
Oh man! All right, so I did like it. Okay.
Yeah.
That being said, as a movie-going fan, I could very much tell it was like 90% fan service.
Oh yeah, it's fan service. The movie, yeah.
And yeah, basically it was Spider-Man, no fan service unanswered, and
but that's okay.
No meme wasted. And
listen, it was fan service. I'll agree with that. But like when all the Spider-Men come together in that movie, it didn't seem like fan service. Like it did well done.
It felt good. Yeah.
Yes, it felt good. You know what? Yeah, fuck yeah, fan service the movie. I'm down.
There was definitely
I mean, who's buying the tickets? The fans, right?
Yeah. There's that cathartic feeling. Again, you know, spoiler alert and all that good stuff. Just Andrew Garfield playing Spider-Man again. He is, you know, people like to forget that he is a really good fucking actor.
Okay, well, hold that thought because we'll dive down that rabbit hole here in just a little bit because I have some Andrew Garfield stuff we'll talk about a little later. So we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But real quick, I wanted to show you. This is the fan that watched No Way Home almost 300 times. God, I couldn't even imagine doing that. That seems like just exhausting. But he made a little collage, a little video collage. I'm not going to play the audio to it because there's music that will get us kicked off YouTube. but check it. He did a little 1 second clip of. Wow.
I wonder if we see him getting physically worn down, turning into a spider or something.
Yeah, he like gains like 10 pounds every clip because he's doing nothing but eating popcorn and slushies. Yeah. But here he is, man. Like, and he's doing his thing, dude. Like, do you get a reward for this? Like, does the studio do something for you if you're that obsessive?
God, that would be nice.
Man, I just couldn't imagine going to see a movie that many times. I love that clip though. That clip right there. So yeah, man goes and sees that movie almost 300 times in theaters. That's absolutely ridiculous. Now you said
that's awesome. Fuck it, you know.
It is awesome, but like I have so many more questions about this man's life. You know, what led you to this? Like, I imagine we have somebody who watches our stream here, huge fan of the channel named Aaron White. You smile, you know that name, right?
Yeah, I like his comments.
Yeah, I could see him doing this with a Superman movie because I've never seen a picture of Aaron White without a Superman shirt on. Like, this kid loves Superman. He has all the posters, the movies. Like, he is 100% fan, you know. And I even put a questionnaire out on our movie and entertainment talk channel or a Facebook page, which if you want to join that, it's in the link is in the comments. You know, I was like, hey, we're going to do another movies we love, not watch party, but discussion. What movie should we talk about? And he wants Superman Returns. But I could see Aaron White doing this. I could see him doing this for Superman. It wouldn't surprise me a bit. Here you go, Aaron White. The next if there's a Man of Steel 2 movie that comes out, I want this sort of collage of you doing this for Man of Steel 2. Huh? Can it be written? Can it be done? Let me know in the comments.
If you do it, I will do it with you.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. If he does it, man, I will do it with him. Honestly, if there's that amount of positivity, I want that around me.
Well, I mean, God, how long have we been waiting for a Man of Steel sequel? It's been almost 10 years and that movie has never been made.
Yeah.
Which is very, very unfortunate. All right. Let's see here. Moving forward here. Let me get myself back. Okay. So a little Disney, more Marvel news here. And this came out a few days ago, but we haven't really been able to talk about it on the channel. So I wanted to take the time to show it here. Now, Thor, Love and Thunder toy leaks. Now, why is this important? Because I usually don't cover toy leaks. I'm like, oh, look, here's Thor as a fucking Lego. Who gives a shit? But like, but we haven't gotten anything from this movie.
Yeah,
nothing. Like not really actual any footage leaks.
We've gotten less for this movie than we did for Spider-Man No Way Home at first.
Well, that's good. The Spider-Man No Way Home, it was
done leaks. Masterfully, honestly.
Well, no, I disagree with you. Like they didn't release any photos that were like, okay, we know, but it was like the worst kept secret in Hollywood, man. Like we all knew they were coming. We all knew, and that kind of that the experience of No Way Home. Could you imagine if we didn't know that Andrew and Toby were going to be back for that, and we didn't know it until we saw it live? That would have been fucking
honestly, if we just saw, just little hints of the villains, but we weren't really sure if it was going to be them.
Right. So with that, I'm going to take that expectation and put it towards Thor. You know what? We haven't seen a thing from Thor, so I feel like there's a reason for that. It is an actual kept secret from Disney and Marvel, and there's going to be a reason for this. There's a reason why they haven't shown anything, and I don't know what that reason is. Maybe Moon Knight is streaming right now, and they've dropped the first 4 episodes to certain people who could watch Moon Knight, but they haven't dropped the other 2, and we'll get the 4th episode to everybody else next week. So there's theories out there that maybe Thor or something that has to do with Thor might show up in Moon Knight, and once that drops, then they'll drop the trailer. We don't know. We have no idea why they've been so hush, and like the more they are hush about it, the more excited I am for it. But we did get a little nugget, a little something, a little fan service, if you will. And that is some toy leaks. And I say toy, and I'm actually not going to bring up any of the toys. It's actually, one is a toy, but one's like an illustration, of the toys and the characters in the movie. And this is what we have. So we have, number one, let's look at Thor here. They're calling this Ravager Thor. Now, Ravager Thor. Now, do you know what a Ravager is, Monty?
Yes.
Okay. So Ravager is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
Right. So Guardians of the Galaxy. You have Guardians of the Galaxy, and then you have Ravagers. It looks like Thor is going to join the Ravagers, and he does so in a beautiful 80s style way here.
I'm getting a lot of Kurt Russell vibes from him.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Dig it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Very much so, the Kurt Russell vibes. And I don't have it here. They can't really see it, but he even has that almost that cartoon He-Man bootstrap. The one that very intricate lacy bootstrap thing. He even has that going on here, and I love it. This is nostalgia 100%. This is amazing. It looks awesome, and. And it's just can you believe that Thor has a 4th movie, number 1, that's coming out? Out of all the characters, Thor has that coming out. But number 2, that we're all this excited about it. And look at, and then we also have, I'll get to Lady Thor here in just a moment, played by Natalie Portman. But look, this is a glimpse at all the other characters. Obviously, you have Quill. This is a different Thor suit. This is very stylistic in the 80s for sure. Christian Bale as what's his name, Gore, the God Killer.
Mm-hmm.
Groot. Okay, he looks like Groot. Ravager Thor, Lady Thor, And then I'm guessing that's Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is our first look at what we're gonna get, and it just looks bright. It looks fun. It looks exciting. Taika Waititi directing this is just. The more I think about it, this is actually my most anticipated movie of the year. It really is.
Yeah.
I think it's good, even though I don't know if it's gonna be my favorite. Right now, my favorite is Everything Everywhere All at Once. But this just looks like a lot of fun. Now, there's something I noticed here, and listen, I don't read the comments or the comments. I don't read the comics. So if anybody can explain something to me, or if my theory is wrong, please let me know in the comments below. But then we got this image. This is the actual toy of Lady Thor. And it looks like she's wielding Mjolnir. But Mjolnir was destroyed in Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like it's pieced back together here. So there's some comic book mythology, something along the lines. Mjolnir is getting fixed, and she is going to wield it. Are you a Thor fan? Did you follow? Have you watched all the movies? Are you a fan of it?
I have watched all the movies. I haven't read any Thor comic books. I know of them, and I have read like synopsis of them and things like that. Mostly for like the Hulk versus series, and then like Planet Hulk and everything, just to kind of prepare for Thor Ragnarok. I read a lot of that.
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah, and we did definitely get like a Hulk world sort of thing.
Yeah,
or Planet Hulk.
Like his armor in that movie was like straight out of Planet Hulk.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Are you excited for this?
I am. I think it'll be good. You know, there's good actors connected to it. Again, the director,
Taika Waititi. Yeah,
dude, he took Thor, who the first two movies a lot of people are not fans of, or they're split down the middle for. Personally, I thought the first Thor movie was boring as hell. Yeah. And then I thought the second one was, the same
even more
shit.
Boring. Yeah.
Yeah, even worse. But then you get Ragnarok, and it's like immediately, not only did I start to like Thor a hell of a lot more, but I was genuinely excited after that to see him.
And I think one great thing that Marvel has done, and you can attribute this to Infinity War and Endgame, is that they've kind of wove in some of the Thor storylines into those movies.
Yeah,
that make me want to go back and respect the ones I didn't like better. Like more specifically, Thor 2. A movie that I watched, I literally couldn't remember any of it. And then when in Endgame, when he starts talking about the resin, the I forget what Infinity Stone is, the Red Stone.
Yeah.
He and they wove that storyline, like they had to go back into Thor 2 and inject it out of Natalie Portman's character, and that's how they got that. Like that made me go back and watch that movie, and I was like, holy shit, this actually isn't a bad movie, So Marvel has made their boringer movies more rewatchable just the way they do these. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
It is wild. And Taika Waititi, man, I'll tell you what, he's the one that breathed new life into Thor. I'm surprised Thor even got a third movie. But the fact what Taika Waititi did, and there's a buddy of mine, Chris Durbin, over at the channel Durbania, and this is one of his most debated outlooks on movies, and it's the fact that he thinks Thor Ragnarok was a misled movie. He thinks there was so much that movie had. Let me put this in the background. He says he thinks there's so much that movie had potential of, but didn't express it very well, and I disagree with him. Like a lot of people disagree with him, because he says there's a heaviness that they don't really explore, and there is, but I disagree with the fact that it's not explored. I feel like the death of his father and all these deep, rich storytelling aspects is there on top of not making it too heavy. They made this very deep movie very fun and exciting to watch. And Taika Waititi is a great storyteller. Another example of this, Jojo Rabbit.
Yep, he took a very dark and just a black eye on humanity, and then he made it something that is nice to watch, and even showed
satire,
and even made it like I don't know, just showed some of those little specks of humanity that were still there.
Yeah,
I love the idea that in his movie, not all the Germans are pieces of shit, which is not something that most Hollywood movies like to portray. They don't like to show that there were good people. that didn't want to go along with things.
They were just soldiers listening to their boss or whatever. Yeah. As opposed to humanity, we typically like our bad guys bad and our good guys good.
Yeah, we don't. A lot of times we don't like those black and white. We like black and white. We don't like gray.
Right.
Questionably okay things done by who we thought are our heroes or our villains always hits people a little weird.
Yeah. Well, and again, this goes back to Disney and Marvel doing a great job investing us into the baddies of the cinematic universe. A prime example of that is Thanos. Listen, Thanos, bad guy, but I still argue, dude had a fucking point.
Yeah, and honestly, I still think you remember when they were that trend, one marvelous scene kind of thing.
Yeah.
If I could have made one, my scene would have just been that end of Infinity War, where he did exactly what he said he was going to do and just sit and enjoy the sunrise that he made, basically.
Right. And sit and enjoy a grateful universe or whatever.
That was beautiful to me. And that was my favorite scene in a Marvel movie, was just, he has almost a heavy heart about him with how he does it. But
yeah, but the thing is what the point is that's the point. We felt for Thanos, we understood why he was doing what he was doing, and it kind of makes sense. You were almost to a point of are you team Avengers or are you team Thanos? Because no matter what happens, okay, so the Avengers undid everything in Infinity War, everything's fairly back to normal, but now what's going to happen, what's going to come to fruition is exactly what Thanos said. The resources are going to run out. Yeah. And civilizations that could thrive are going to die. I think that's one of the biggest keys that I think the Avengers and the Marvel properties need to focus on. Is okay, listen, Thanos, as evil as he was, has a point. Maybe we can figure out a way to make these resources more abundant. That should be the responsibility of the Avengers, in my opinion. Yeah, that's something that's been swept under the rug.
Not just to defeat crazy enemies and stuff, but actually make the world a better place.
Right.
But then you'll get kind of what happened in Civil War, where if there's no accountability, who do you decide is the bad guy, and all those questions of authority and all that other stuff. It's great topics, and I love thinking about all that.
Right, but at the same time, now that all that's done, there's still the point of, okay, but resources are going to run out. So
what are we going to do?
What are we going to do? Right. Yeah. That hasn't been rectified. Everyone's yay, we saved the day for a few hundred years. That's
shit. You brought back all those people. Well, fuck, unemployment was down to not.
Yeah. Half of those were farmers. And we haven't really had the the ability to grow crops. We don't know how we're going to feed all these people. Yeah. Maybe Thor had a point. Can we unsnap it? No.
Can we unsnap half of them?
God damn it, we have to go to the time travel thing again. Fuck. But yeah, anyway, that's neither here nor there. There you go. There's the Thor Love and Thunder toy leaks. I really like the way this is going. This looks like, it almost reminds me of He-Man the movie. If you take He-Man from the 80s, this is what, but put Thor, put a Thor cloak on it.
What it looks like? Ravager Thor looks like Escape from, or not, I'm sorry, not Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah,
esque to me, just that lovely 80s.
I would love it if they have Quill make a comment about how he looks like his dad.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, because Kurt Russell played his dad in
what a great villain, and what a great twist too. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy so much.
Well, we'll save that maybe for movies we love. All right.
Yeah, I'd love that.
That's why it's called that.
I would love that. He said it. He said the name of the thing. That's why we have movies we love.
That's this. Oh, he said it. All right. So a little something different here. This is something I almost didn't put it on here, but Jamie Dornan has a very great point he wants to make, and it's about casting Backlash. Now, this goes all the way back to, all the way back since, before time began, I'm sure. But let's think about Michael Keaton as Batman. When Michael Keaton was announced as Batman, even though they didn't have the internet, people threw a fucking fit. You're going to have a comedian play Batman in a serious movie? What the hell, you know? And then let's fast forward. Heath Ledger cast as Joker. There's no way you can replace Jack Nicholson. There's no. Oh, they got a pretty boy to play Joker. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
You know, and that's continued ever since. I mean, look at Ben Affleck. Who
Robert Pattinson got shit too. It was like, you're gonna have fucking Twilight play him, and then it's like, okay,
the Twilight boy. But like, and even Jamie Dornan, I'll bring his quote up here in a second. Touches based on that, and like on Pattinson playing Batman, and also Daniel Craig cast as James Bond. You know, and he makes a really good point. I just wanted to bring it up here. He says prejudgment is such a fucking disease. It's a disease in all our culture. In my own line of work, sure. But in general, people prejudge people based on fucking anything, really. It's very sad. Look at the reaction when Rob got cast as Batman. It was like 90% negative. Daniel Craig got cast as James Bond. I mean, it was 100% negative. It was vile what was written. It was actually disturbing when you see the fucking venomous anger that people have over casting decisions. And then guess what? Daniel Craig is fucking brilliant, and it changes the whole energy of Bond. All the naysayers love what Rob has done with Batman. This is a story that's as old as time itself. It really is. People just shitting on things that aren't what they're used to. Anytime you change something, people hate it because it's not what they're used to. I mean, even if it could have been any actor cast as Joker, it was the fact that it wasn't Jack Nicholson cast as Joker that people hated, you know?
Yeah, and even then, there's going to be, another half of people that are upset that they cast Jack Nicholson. You know what I mean? Like, you can never fucking make everyone happy.
Well, I think Jack Nicholson being cast as Joker was a pretty well received thing. He was actually handpicked by Bob Kane.
Yeah, like he was an established, amazing actor and everything. Honestly, if the only thing I wish is that they did it earlier so that he could be a little bit younger and do it.
I don't care.
He did a great fucking job.
When I went and did my Batman review series, which if you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's on my playlist, Batman review series. That was such a fun series because I was so wrapped up, in Christian Bale's Batman, and then Zack Snyder's version of Batman. I was so wrapped up in that. Like Ben Affleck was incredible to me that I honestly just dismissed, everything I saw. Michael Keaton's Batman. Oh, that was fun for the 80s and 90s. Good for that. And that's where I put it. But when I rewatched that movie, I was like, holy hell, this is a fucking fun movie. And then watching Jack Nicholson as Joker, you're like, God, this guy was incredible. What a great adaptation that was. It was almost like a mix, even though it was precursor to Heath Ledger. You could definitely see a mix of Heath Ledger and like Cesar Romero, like just like it was
lovely, like right in between middle ground that
exactly
he was able to achieve.
It fit what Tim Burton was going for perfectly. And this goes on casting backlash concerns, and that's for anybody cast in a role. Ben Affleck, he was one of the biggest ones. Like people said, fuck no, we're not having Ben Affleck as Batman. And to this day, hate it or love it, 90% of people say that Batman scene in Batman v Superman is the warehouse scene is the best Batman, scene ever, hands down.
Yeah, it's a hell of a fucking fight scene.
It is. And the way that character,
Gal Gadot, remember when she got cast as Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
All the stupid fucking backlash for that.
People just backlash about anything. And what it is, you got these keyboard warriors out there, especially in Twitter, where they you can hide behind a screen name in an image and you're anonymous pretty much. And you can just go on there like, well, I fucking hate you. Like you have confidence. If Twitter would allow people just or not allow people, like have people just actually put their name, like for me, if I want to be Film Trigger, that's fine. But say Film Trigger, Stevie Cade, like that's who I am. You want to find me? You can come kick my ass. Like once people are held accountable for this stuff, that might lower like at least 40%, 50%, like people's outrage and stuff like that. But it's not, actors are actors. give actors a chance. Now, if you have an actor that's being put in a role and that actor sucks in movies, like all of his movies are just like prime example. And I'm going to get backlash for this, but I mean it. Jared Leto's heading this direction.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Jared Leto has gone from I'm really excited to see him in a movie to, oh God, I don't want to see him. Like, if he's casted in another movie, I'm like, great, because like his portrayals are just not wonderful anymore.
Yeah,
so,
and, you know, they even brought up other issues because like he's a method actor, right? At least that's what he likes to claim. He likes to, you know, talk about that.
mm-hmm.
And you know, I don't think you're doing it right.
Well, I don't know. I still can't tell if it's him or the movies he's choosing. I still can't tell, and I'll give him a benefit of a doubt for that. But my point is when you have an actor that has continuously led you to believe that when they do something, it's going to be crap, then you know what? Yeah, you know what? Then I have concerns. But if I have an actor that's an amazing actor and they're cast in a role just because it's not the person I thought should be in the role, they're actors. Give them a chance. Then,
yeah, I like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt now, especially when it comes to some movies. Some movies just have genuinely surprised. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes,
I did not want to see that movie at all. I was so upset when I got dragged to go watch it, and it ended up being one of my favorite fucking movies ever.
Really? What was your distaste with it? Why didn't you
I didn't want to see Orlando Bloom, and I didn't think Johnny Depp would be a good pirate.
Well, little did
I
we
didn't
realize
watch
at the
any
time
trailers. I didn't see shit for it, and I ended up watching it and fucking falling in love with it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Well,
and that's kind of the point to be made, is that, you know, you're never gonna know unless you try.
Right. And little did we know at the time that Johnny Depp is like literally the living embodiment of what a pirate is in real life. So we've discovered this.
Syphilis and all.
Yeah, but just don't judge people. Like, I don't care who gets casted in a role, as long as it fits the story, it fits the vision of what the director wants to bring to light, then make it work. I will only get concerned as if as I said, an actor gets cast in a role and that actor has disappointed me more times than not in the past. That's the only time I'll be like, wait a minute, you sure you want to do this? And I've unfortunately, because I love Jared Leto, unfortunately for me, Jared Leto is starting to fall into that category. The next, I have no excitement for the next Jared Leto movie. Like,
yeah, I mean, and that's what was there was a movie that came out, The Little Things, right? Mm-hmm. It came out on HBO Max. Jared Leto was a person of interest in that movie, and he was great. He was creepy. He was like unsettling. There was something about him, and he's good at roles like that. But then it's like, man, what? I don't know what the disconnect is whenever he tries to apply himself to a character that has
a comic book character specifically.
Yeah, especially comic book character. For some reason, that is something he can't put his mind into.
And again, I don't know if it's him or the movies he's choosing. I mean, look at Suicide Squad, David Ayer's Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
that movie was chopped to bits, and a lot of what Jared Leto did was on the cutting room floor. And David Ayer has been very vocal since then, saying, "Hey, this actually isn't the movie I wanted." Warner Brothers maybe reshoot a lot of things, and what I do want is a darker vision. And that
I want to give David Ayer a little bit more credit, okay? But I have seen what he's done when the studios just leave him the fuck alone and let him do whatever he wants. Brightburn. Okay, Bright sucked. It was so bad. There were so many like
Wait, did I call it Brightburn? Is it not called Brightburn?
It's not called Brightburn.
Oh, is it just called what the fuck is Brightburn?
It was just called Bright. Brightburn sounded like something for sure though.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the back of my mind, and that's connected somewhere. But
know.
Bright. Yeah, Bright. If you watch Bright back to back with Suicide Squad, they're almost the same exact movie.
They are almost the same exact fucking movie. Yeah, it's like, okay, what? And then it just like keeps going. It's like, yeah, deal with it, and then just keeps like running away.
Wait, isn't Brightburn the Superman not Superman movie by James Gunn?
Yes, that's what it was.
That is.
Yep.
I like that movie, by the way. But
I actually like that movie too. I thought it was a great. It's a concept, we all know, but we haven't actually gotten to see yet. So
well,
it's good.
And I don't want to go too far down a rabbit hole, but I have one critique about Brightburn, and it's the fact that the thing that makes his superpowers like start to work is not. They play it off in that movie like it's almost like a disease, like he got sick from like alien sickness instead of, I don't know. It was just weird how they introduced it all.
I thought it was just puberty in general.
I need to rewatch it because I know there's a certain aspect.
I would love to watch it with you, dude, and just kind of point out some things with you. Because
let's do it. All right, let it be written. Let it be done. All right,
I have spoken.
All right, the last thing I want to talk about today, and this goes back to we were just talking about Jared Leto and Morbius, and this kind of a shit show that movie was, and I don't blame Jared Leto for it. Yeah. This is where I have faith in Jared Leto. It might just be the roles or the movies he's choosing and the people behind it, in the way they're edited. But like, there's this theory. I don't know. I think it's a fan theory, and I read it. And I usually don't like to put theories on here, but this is definitely something I think we could talk about and have it make sense. I think this theory makes sense in the sense that Amazing Spider-Man. I meant to put 3. Amazing Spider-Man 3 theory could fix Morbius issue. And one of the biggest Morbius issues is the post-credit screen, right? Or scene, which you haven't seen Morbius, right?
No, but I do know the post-credit scene.
Okay. Yeah, we've talked about it here. So the post-credit scene is basically Vulture, who was blipped over there from multiverse magic. And now he's in whatever universe Morbius is in. And he's like, hey, Spider-Man sucks. Do you agree? And like Morbius is like, man, yeah, sure. But Spider-Man sucks. Let's join up. But like people are like, why does Morbius hate Spider-Man now? Like he has no connection with Spider-Man at all. It makes no sense why he would want to join a team against Spider-Man. Like all in all, the Morbius movie painted Morbius to be not even like what do you call those?
Anti-hero.
Thank you, anti-hero. Not even an anti-hero. Like he starts off a little bad, but it was like just kind of the result of his character, and then he became a good guy.
Yeah, and so I think that's a little just. There's a lot of fucking problems with that movie. That is why I don't even want to see it.
Yeah, but you should for argument's sake. You should for argument's sake. So you can when somebody debates you, you can be like, well, actually, but the. So the theory is, I'll just bring it up here. So a significant part of the plot in the sequel, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, saw Harry Osborn desperate for a sample of Spider-Man's blood, believing it could cure the disease he inherited from his father Norman, known as Goblin disease. However, in the end, Garfield's Spider-Man was hesitant to give his blood to his childhood friend, concerned of the possibility of its side effects. Now, I don't know if you saw The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but that's pretty much the principle. Like you learn in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 that the reason why Peter Parker is so special is because his dad was the scientist that worked on the genetically modified spiders, and he used his blood fused with the spiders to create whatever that created that made those spiders special. And that's why when that spider bit Peter Parker, that's why it worked for him. And if that spider bites somebody else, it's not going to work for them. It's his blood. That's what it comes down to. The reason why this could fix the loophole in Morbius is because, and Morbius is mentioned in Amazing Spider-Man 2. He's one of the listed characters in Osborn.
Yeah, when they're hinting at the Sinister Six.
Well, not even that. It's even before that scene. But the fact that it's his blood, and Morbius being a living fucking vampire, could be the reason why he wants Spider-Man. Could be the reason. Hey, I want to get this kid and tie him down because his blood is special. There's something about his blood that has this meta-human property of it that might fix me. Just like Harry Osborn wanted it to fix him and make him get rid of the Goblin disease, which is. I hate that name, by the way. The Goblin disease.
I do too. I really wish there was something to the Goblin curse.
It's called the Goblin curse. So But that also opens the door, and the fact that I also believe that Andrew Garfield, Amazing Spider-Man 3, should be a part of that Morbius world. I think that should be Sony's Spider-Man if he'll come back.
Yeah.
Because, and there's something I was thinking about, and one of the complaints about Morbius, and if this was like something that was foreseen and done on purpose because of this, it's almost borderline genius. And it's the fact that people said that that movie seemed like it was shot way older than it is. Like it felt like a early 2000s movie, you know? The Amazing Spider-Man came out in what, 2013? I think the original one came out, or the Amazing Spider-Man 1 came out like 2009. Sequel came out in 2013 or something like that. And that was an earlier stylistic of filmmaking, especially comic book films. What if they shot Morbius on purpose to fit into that stylistic shooting that the Amazing Spider-Man
that would
done?
be cool. I think that is giving the director too much credit, but that would be fucking cool.
Hey, I'm just building bridges you can walk over them. You know, you don't have to.
You're right. I mean, we do not have to burn every bridge.
Right. But like, I am excited to actually see him return, Andrew Garfield to return as Spider-Man, and I think it could fix some of Morbius's issues.
I do want to say that you know, No Way Home, all right, there's that scene where he saves MJ.
God, yeah.
And again, you know, I just want to point out how good of a fucking actor Andrew Garfield is.
Of course, Oscar winning or nominated, yeah.
Yeah, like I was watching the movie and I was having a good time and everything, and then I just saw his face when he actually caught her, and I was like, "Ugh, fuck."
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, I'm not crying.
Feeling.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that there are some definite there's some things that could be fixed, and there's some things that he deserves a chance to fix more. Right,
but it also leads up to the point of, is it past its time? Could Andrew Garfield be at a point in his career where he's like, I'm actually past this point. You Sony, you missed your chance.
Yeah,
you know,
you definitely could, you know.
But it does seem like they are building off of that universe. So I would not be surprised if he comes back. I mean, again, the whole fact that the Vulture got the Vulture costume,
yeah,
makes no sense at all, because you've seen Homecoming. He made that costume from alien technology.
Yeah,
you know, and he didn't even make it. Like he had the Tinkerer, the character, the Tinkerer made that suit for him. So like I'm not even sure that Michael Keaton's character has the ability to create that. But if he went and stole it from, you know, the little scene that we got in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 where we saw the Vulture costume there, that makes sense. And if you notice, it didn't have alien. Well, you haven't seen it, but this iteration of the Vulture's costume didn't have alien technology. It was like more fire that was, you know, his propellant. And anyway, I'm going too far into that, but my point is, it could very easily and seamlessly go from that Amazing Spider-Man 2 world, which tells me we need more now than ever an Amazing Spider-Man 3 with good direction. Don't put this in the same category as Venom. Don't put it in the same category as Morbius in the sense of the way you directed. Give him the story that he deserves, and now fix the rest of your weirdness that Sony's doing with all their sub characters. So that's what all I really have to say about that. And Amazing Spider-Man 3, I want to see it happen. It could fix Morbius. God damn it, make it happen, Sony.
I agree.
So, all right. Is there anything else you want to bring up, or something I touched on that you want to add to, or anything like that, Monte?
You know, again, just recently, you know, you've kind of discovered some really good work from independent studios like A24, you know.
Yes.
Just fucking popping out banner after banner every fucking time.
The Lighthouse, everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah.
I think the
X being a new
one. Dune, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dune, you had an amazing director. I absolutely love that guy's directing style. I forget his damn name.
Denis Villeneuve.
Yes. His directing style, the artistic approach that he takes to things, and he took a very obscure story from a universe that a lot of people love, but a lot of people, it's almost more of a cult thing, especially with the original Dune movie. And he took something like that and he's made it more approachable, and he's also made it artistic, like actually beautiful to watch. I love that damn movie. I think that there's some really good things happening as far as like the artistic shit that's coming across,
and not comic book movies.
Yeah, I do think though that once you have a good director put on to a comic book movie, they're really, there's so much good that can come from it. Again, Waikiki, right? Or YTT. I said Waikiki. The Hawaiian.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
That's a hard name to say.
you get a good fucking director, man, and some good writing, and the sky's
good vision, clear set goal of where they want their movie to be. That's what matters. And Dune was one of those movies, like when I saw it, I think I gave it a D.
Yeah,
because I didn't quite understand the property. I've never seen Dune before in my life. I never read the book, didn't know shit about it, so I wasn't really fully invested. Then when I watched it again, I'm like, okay, actually, this is a really good movie. I just had to dive into that world, and like getting all that thrown at me all at once was like it was hard to absorb. But once I absorbed it and listened to some opinions about it, then I was able to go back and rewatch it. Like, okay, I get where this movie is going.
I think they did a good job, wanting to break it up into more movies, because that was one of the biggest complaints I have for the original movie, was that it's like, it's been years now. It's like, has it? You don't look any different. You haven't really grown as a character too much. Right.
Is it Dave Fincher? Is that who did it? Dave Fincher? Is that who did the original?
Yes,
Dune?
At a very early point in his career.
Yeah, he's actually, I heard a rumor, and I almost put it on the drive-by news today, but I probably, in hindsight, I should have. He's actually going back, or wanting at least to go back and re-edit that movie and give it a little bit more of a better edit than what it was, what we got in theaters. I don't know what that means exactly, because I've never seen that movie, and everyone I hear talk about the movie say it's not that great, but whatever.
There's some great concepts there.
Yeah.
And it's great to see what a very clear vision and a different art style can take a really cool concept and make it, a contender for Academy Awards. Like, holy shit, I did not see that coming.
Right. I mean, how many Academy Awards were they nominated for? Like 32 or something crazy like that?
Yeah, like it got art, cinematography, set design,
costume design. Yeah. But that goes on. I think what your point was like, allowing these more artistic visions to come into play. Listen, we all like comic book movies, but fuck, it seems like
they could be so much more. And we've seen what they can be when they do let them be more. Fuck, Joker hit me on so many chords that I did not think it could hit me on.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be sitting there and actually like having, mental health discussions with myself, basically watching a fucking comic book character and just being like, God damn, man, that does suck.
Yeah. And that's exactly what Zaslav was saying in our article earlier, when he was just saying that Todd Phillips' Joker are shining examples of how second build characters from DC Library can and should be exploited. Like, absolutely, man. And I think Zaslav is on the same page with fans. Like, and listen, this is the Snyder fan in me. I've done my very best to kind of like back out of that whole Snyder cult, whatever they are. But like, I do really still want Snyder to get his chance and just finish that vision. And I hope that they see that and like, listen, he was on his way to doing something good. Warner Brothers fucked up, and instead of rectifying it and addressing it, they kept trying to sweep it under the rug, and to the point where he ended up getting justice through HBO Max, and the person that greenlit that got fired. So
yeah, holy shit. All right, so one last thing, if you don't mind, speaking of directors that kind of deserve another chance and everything. Oh God, no, I think I just lost it. No,
Zack Snyder, director, didn't get a chance. I don't know. Did you lose it?
Oh God, I think I lost it. Yeah, Zack Snyder, not getting his true artistic visions and not being able to truly just get them across, man. It's always just such a shame.
Was it a comic book property you were going to talk about?
I think. Damn it. Fuck, I don't know what it was. So sorry.
Damn it, Monte.
Next time I'll bring it up, man. I promise.
You're supposed to be the best of us.
I had faith. I see now that I was wrong.
Yeah, we need some ominous Sethisms right now. You can never.
One could only be disappointed if one had hopes.
Seth, the living fortune cookie. All right.
I just imagine him floating everywhere he goes.
Oh, Seth. That little shit's never even messaged me back.
Oh.
He's probably asleep. Or I can't remember. I can't remember if he's doing his driving test or not. I have no idea. Either way, I messaged him at 9 this morning. He still hasn't responded back. So there's that. There's where I sit in his in his wheelhouse of importance. All right. That's it. I'm going to call it. I want to appreciate everyone who's watching. We had quite a bit of viewers, although I wish you weren't shy. I wish you would comment with us. We really like to have some interactive things or give us a call.
Please do. Worst case, we make fun of you.
Yes. Worst case, we make fun of you and send everyone to where you're at and tell them to attack you.
You'll be the laughing stock
virtually.
of me.
Yeah. Besides the threats of being bullies, we do drive-by news. Also on Tuesdays and Thursdays, around 6 or 7 p.m., depending on, who gets home when and all this, depending on life. But yeah, join us then. Also, we have a new segment on Film Trigger called Movies We Love. We just did one last week about the movie Seven, where we all just watch a movie. It's not a watch party, but I let people know what movie we're watching about a week ahead of time, and then we'll just come together and discuss the movie. We haven't picked out the movie that we're doing next, but there are a couple potential ones, Superman Returns being one of them. And people are like, Superman Returns? Listen,
You Predator, dude.
That's another good one. There's a galaxy of movies.
So many good movies.
There's a galaxy of movies we could do. But Superman Returns is one of those movies that like people hate, even though it's exactly what they wanted. It's such an odd movie because everyone's like, we need another Superman movie like Christopher Reeve's Superman. And they gave that to you way before any of this other shit. And you're all like, no, thanks. Like,
nah.
Right.
I changed my mind.
It is a Bryan Singer movie that definitely has its issues. But I'll tell you what, when I did my Superman review series, that movie actually on my ranking was like third. Like it was like my top third favorite one because it kind of took everything that was great about Superman and got kind of rid of all the other stuff and really just made the characters better. Well, go see my review series and figure out what I'm talking about. But that's a potential. If you have a movie that you want to see us do on Movies We Love, let us know in the comments below. Monte, you're going to start a YouTube channel maybe, right?
I am. I want to. I want to dive more into movies, especially dive into action scenes and what makes really good action scenes versus what makes, an action movie that we'll go see, but one that you probably shouldn't talk about.
Like Christopher Nolan's Batman movies, like the fighting scenes.
Yeah, you can definitely. Yeah, I want to point out editing mistakes and things like that can really make a good action scene versus a shitty one.
I like that. That's a good concept. And Nolan's Batman, as great as movies as those are, like his fighting style.
You watch some fight scenes, man. They're not very good.
It's just one of those quick cut things, like, camera moves very fast. That means something's happening, but I can't see what it is.
The best fight scene in that whole movie is in the whole trilogy is the first fight between him and Bane.
Yeah, it is.
Bane fucks him up, and it is fucking so beautiful and cathartic to watch.
Yeah, no music, no nothing.
No music at all. No quick cuts.
All right.
Well, anyway, thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you sometime this week. Please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Film Trigger. Link is in the description in case you're watching from Facebook or Twitch or wherever we're streaming. Until then, we'll see you guys next time. Stay trigger happy, my friends. Peace.